Imagine finishing a beautiful house flip here in Phoenix, only to have your buyer's financing completely fall through at the literal last second, all because you didn't pull a permit for that new patio. Welcome to this explainer on demystifying Phoenix building permits. Whether you're a homeowner wanting to renovate, a house flipper eyeing your next big project, or just a curious resident, understanding how to navigate this system is going to save you a ton of time, money, and a massive amount of headaches. To really wrap your head around why this matters, you have to look at the explosive growth happening right now. Phoenix is booming. In fact, the city issues roughly 44.7 building permits for every 1,000 residents. That is a staggering rate, and it places Phoenix firmly among the top U.S. cities for development.
Okay, let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to do a quick intro to permits, check out the Phoenix PDD system, walk through a step-by-step lookup guide, share some pro tips and pitfalls, hit a quick FAQ, and then wrap things up.
Part 1, Introduction to Building Permits. So what exactly is a building permit? At its core, it's just formal, written authorization from the city of Phoenix. It's their thumbs up letting you or your contractor proceed with construction, an alteration, or even a demolition. Now notice how the city draws a very clear line between what actually requires a permit and what doesn't. The golden rule here is if it's aesthetic maintenance, you're pretty much good to go. Go ahead and paint those walls, replace the flooring, or swap out those old cabinets without ever talking to the city. But the very second your project touches the building's bones, its structural integrity, or essential systems, a permit is mandatory. Taking out a load-bearing wall, you need a permit. Putting in new electrical wiring, major plumbing, or a brand new HVAC system, permit required. And hey, since we're in Phoenix, remember that building a new fence over 3 feet tall, installing a patio cover, or putting in a swimming pool all mandate city approval. Actually, Arizona has a highly specific pool barrier law that strictly requires a safety fence around residential pools, so keep an eye out for that. And here is exactly why this should matter to you. Let's look at a real-life scenario. Say an investor is trying to sell this gorgeously flipped historic home over in the Coronado neighborhood. Because they completely skipped getting a permit for that shiny new HVAC system they installed, the buyer's lender pulled out right before closing. It completely derailed the sale and forced a massive discount on the property. Most lenders will absolutely refuse to finance a property if there are known code violations. Unpermitted work can literally terminate a real estate transaction. Don't let that be you.
Moving on to Section 2, the Phoenix PDD system.
The engine behind all of this development is the Planning and Development Department, or PDD. Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the United States, so the volume of work this department juggles is just immense. Driven by massive new semiconductor fabrication facilities, data centers, and these sprawling residential subdivisions, the PDD issued over 7,262 permits in a single recent year alone. It is a busy, well-established system for sure, but because of that intense volume, it can also become a seriously backlogged one if you don't submit your applications correctly. Enforcing all these codes requires an absolute army of specialized professionals. We are talking about 146 inspectors out in the field, 66 planners, 24 engineers, 20 building code examiners, and 4 architects, plus a whole bunch of support staff. When you submit a plan, it isn't just getting a quick glance. It might be reviewed simultaneously by multiple experts across the building, fire, and water services teams.
All right, Section 3, the step-by-step lookup guide.
Checking a property's permit history is an absolute must-do before you even think about purchasing it. So here is your exact step-by-step blueprint for tracking them down. Step 1. You're going to need to gather the property's address or its parcel number, which is commonly known as the APN. Step 2. You'll hop online and navigate to the Phoenix PDD online search portal on the city's website. Step 3. If you happen to be looking up an existing active permit, maybe to schedule an inspection or just check its status, you'll need to punch in the specific permit number along with a unique web inspection key. Now let's talk about formatting for a second, because a simple typo here will give you 0 results and a lot of frustration. When you're entering an address, numbered street names have to be entered numerically. Use first, second, or third rather than actually spelling out the words first or second. Also, pro tip, you really don't need to enter both the address and the parcel number. If you have the APN, just enter that and you can totally ignore the address fields. Finally, if you're hunting for that web inspection key I just mentioned, you can easily find it printed on the lower left of your permit receipt or right next to the instructions and comments section on the permit document itself. Let's get into Section 4, Pro Tips and Pitfalls. Navigating any municipal database can be pretty tricky,
But here is a massive pitfall that catches so many people off guard: timeline blind spots. You really have to understand the timeline of Phoenix's digital records. The online searchable database is fantastic, but it only contains permits dating from 1995 to the current day. So, if you're researching a classic mid-century home in Arcadia, for example, and you need historical permits from before 1995, you are simply not going to find them online. For those older ones, you actually have to submit a formal public records request or physically march yourself down to the counter on the third floor of Phoenix City Hall. Keep in mind, too, that for those older physical records, access fees may apply.
But here is an incredible insider trick for that online portal: the wildcard search. If you're searching by a project name or project number and aren't entirely sure of the exact phrasing, you can just use an asterisk symbol to replace any character you don't know in the search field. For example, if you pop an asterisk before and after a keyword, like asterisk paradise asterisk, the system will pull up literally any project containing that specific word. It is an absolute lifesaver for finding those broadly named or slightly misspelled project files.
Moving on to Section 5, Frequently Asked Questions.
Let's do a rapid-fire Q&A to clear up some common misunderstandings. Question number 1, and honestly it's the most common question beginners have: can I apply for and track a Phoenix building permit entirely online without ever having to go down to City Hall? The answer is a resounding yes. The city heavily encourages doing this digitally. You'll use the Project Docs online portal, which is your primary and most efficient submission channel. Phoenix also utilizes a really cool system called ePlans for electronic plan review. This means you can upload your PDF blueprints directly, receive feedback and comments from city reviewers electronically, and track your whole application status from your living room couch. Trust me, it is so much faster than hauling massive rolls of paper downtown. Next question, and it's the burning question every impatient investor or homeowner out there wants to know: can I expedite my building permit in Phoenix? Yes, you absolutely can. Phoenix does offer priority and expedited plan reviews, specifically for large commercial, civil, and fire plans. But be aware, jumping to the front of the line with this fast-track solution comes at a premium cost with additional fees. It's a calculation you really have to make based on your project's specific holding costs and timelines. And finally, Section 6, Conclusion and Next Steps. So, you now have the ultimate blueprint for understanding and researching building permits in Phoenix. If you take away just one thing today, make it this: protect your property investment. Whether you are buying a home to live in or investing in a neighborhood, take that vital first step. Go over to the PDD online search portal, type in the address, and see exactly what that permit history looks like. It is hands down the best way to ensure the safety and financial security of your neighborhood investments. Now, as always, I do need to provide a quick disclaimer. Municipal procedures, building codes, and local regulations change over time. You should always verify the current rules directly with the City of Phoenix local authorities. And honestly, if you are dealing with complex commercial developments or tricky historical properties, you should absolutely seek out professional permitting assistance. I want to leave you with this final, really powerful thought from our sources today. It completely reframes this entire conversation. A building permit is not an obstacle, it is a form of project insurance. That hits the nail on the head. It protects your financial investment, your physical safety, and the future marketability of your property. So, what kind of hidden history is lurking in the walls of your next investment? Get online and find out. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.